Why is it so hard to actually say what I feel?
Just keep it together.
Don't be too much.
Somewhere along the way, you learned to hold it in, to soften your truth, to shape your voice, to be easier to love. But your body knows, your voice knows, and there's a place inside you where nothing is forced, where everything real gets to exist. This is that place. Welcome to G-Spot. Hi, my name is Graciela Serena, and you are listening to G-Spot Podcast. Thanks for being here. I have a few announcements that I want to share with you before we get started, and they're really exciting. So the first one is I have a show this Saturday, if you're free, Vintage Kava, 8 to 10 p.m. Then the second one is that I'm doing a fundraiser show. So if you can't make the Vintage show or vice versa, this will be on July 31st, and the Vintage show is July 18th. July 31st, we'll have Lily Lumina and as opener, guest Nate Carter, and we'll have B-Love finishing it out with an after-party vibe. This will be raising funds for me to actually record my music, which has been a long time coming. There will be a raffle. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be at Sovereign Kava, July 31st, starting at 7 p.m. The last thing that I want to share with you, and then we'll get into the episode, is my books are open for the Embodied Confidence program and the devotional program. So the Embodied Confidence program is a 6-week session program, and it goes into how to listen to yourself, how to know what you need, how to figure out what is aligned for you, and how to essentially love yourself, but also create a foundation for you to be able to be embodied confident, not just saying that you're confident, but actually embodied. And this is a foundation to great relationships. So then that goes into the devotional. The devotional is where we can explore relationships, communication, boundaries, self-leadership, and kind of take the internal and make it external in our life. And that is a 10-week program. This is a chance for you to own your truth, to find what brings you alive, and to transform your relationships from playing out old patterns, old wounds, and not knowing how to communicate, to really owning that shit and cleaning it up and recognizing what's yours and what's not, and just having a platform to be able to rise and come alive. So I would love to have you, and I just wanted to share that in case that rings a bell for anyone. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into the episode. Have you ever noticed that the people who give the most are the most exhausted? For years, I thought that I was just being easygoing and generous. But the truth is that I did not know how to say no. And I didn't really actually know that my needs mattered. I know, kind of a crazy concept, but it's not even, sometimes it's just that we don't even recognize that that is something that's under the surface. You know, it's not like we go through life and it's like, my needs don't matter. And, you know, we're recognizing how crappy we feel about ourselves, or, you know, maybe sometimes we do. But a lot of times it's under the surface. It's something that we don't recognize until we look at it. So the pattern is saying yes when you mean no, which we've talked about, anticipating everyone's needs, trying to fix and problem solve everything, which is like solving problems that no one really asked you to solve, right? Feeling responsible for everyone's emotions, and struggling to receive. And one of the biggest ones that comes up for me, or has come up for me, was saying yes to going places or doing activities that I actually didn't feel aligned with and I actually didn't want to do. Does this sound familiar? So I had to get real with myself. Some of this giving was not out of generosity. It was out of a place of wanting to feel safe. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be seen and needed, to feel like I belonged, and I wanted to be the cool girl and, the laid back, like she's down for anything, that is survival. Right? There's no shame in wanting these things, but when we start giving too much of ourselves, we start losing parts of ourselves. We can forget that we belong no matter where we go because we are whole. And the people that deserve to stick around are the people that won't need you to exhaust yourself and won't want to take all the time. And what's the cost? The cost is exhausting. Truly. Have you ever given so much to someone in hopes that they know what you need? And in return, you're exhausted and you're resentful and you feel isolated and you're invisible. And the big kicker is you're disconnected because you're over here giving so much and not being seen, not receiving, not, yada, yada, yada. So how does this affect your relationships? Because the truth is that when you don't ask for what you need, people don't know what you need. You end up playing a losing game. You spread yourself so thin. And in the back of your head, you have a laundry list of the things that they have not done for you when you haven't even really asked. And also, this can also impact the way that you receive. Because if you don't know how to receive and you give, like this is what you've known your whole life, right? This is where you put yourself. You're the savior. So being the receiver is hard. Sometimes you may not even know how to do that. This can deeply affect your relationships. And if it's not addressed, it can lead to complete and total burnout. And ultimately, it can destroy the relationship because you have given so much. And in your head, you have labeled this person incapable. You have labeled this person lazy. You have labeled this person. And I just want to say, like, some people, they don't know how to take care of themselves. You do have to take care of them. I want you to find your discernment and who you surround yourself with and what you give and who you're giving to. But there are times in the healthy dynamics and things like that, or the could be healthy dynamics where you're giving so much you don't actually see that they want to give, but they don't know how. You leave no room for them to give. You take care of the dishes, you take care of the laundry, you take care of the blah, 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 blah. You never ask them if they would be down to take care of this thing, first of all. And second of all, you don't give them time because your mind is so in this mode of savior and overdrive and doing all the things that you're just like, and then you're like, oh, why the fuck they could do the laundry at some point. Could they? Did you give them a chance? Yeah. What parts of you are you ignoring to become or to be the good girl, the good boy, the savior, the fixer? These archetypes. Because when we fully go full throttle into this, we lose parts of ourselves. We abandon parts of ourselves because we're too busy taking care of others and leaning into this archetype. And we're going to go more into this in the next episode. But that's just a question for you. Another question is, what is it that you've put aside for others? What is it that you've put aside that you love so that you could be there for others? When we constantly feed others fire, we stop tending our own. So this could look like a hobby, dancing, singing, painting, sitting by the river alone. What else is it? Volleyball, sports, whatever it is. Like maybe you like making little train models or something. I don't know. But whatever it is that you feel like maybe you have ignored because of taking care of other people's needs, I want you to just sit with that. Okay? Because I want to start turning to curious questions for you. Have you ever examined, have you ever asked yourself these things? Have you ever talked to yourself? Have you ever gotten curious about the underlying truths that live within you? This week, pause before saying yes and ask yourself, am I giving from a place of love, or am I giving because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't? This is something I see all the time and something that I have worked in within myself as well. It is not something to feel shame or guilt around, but it is something to notice. And if you're ready, which if you're listening to this podcast, there's parts of you that are, it's time to make change. And the people that are meant to stay will stay. You deserve that. You deserve that. And you deserve to tend to the parts of yourself that you have been abandoning. So thank you for listening. I love y'all so much. And I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah.
Thank you for listening to G-Spot, where your truth turns you on. This isn't just something you listen to. It's something you live. So take what landed here and bring it into your next conversation, your next boundary, your next moment of truth. If you're walking this path and want to go deeper, find me on Instagram at Graciela Serena Music. You can find more information on how to work with me below in the show notes. And if this resonated, let it travel. Share, comment. I would love to hear from you. But most of all, remember, your truth isn't too much. Your voice isn't the problem. Stay there, in that place where it's real. I'll see you next time.